Four formula which you can use in your calculation. Number one, mole is equal to mass over mr. If mass is given, you will use this formula. If a solution is given, C and V are given, then you will use the second formula, and for only gas you will use the third one. And if you are asked to calculate number of particles, number of molecules, number of atoms, then you will use the fourth one. Okay, there are two applications of this concept. Applications of mole concept. Number one is to calculate empirical formula, which we did in our previous class. And the second application of mole concept is stoichiometry. Stoichiometry means to calculate moles in moles from a balanced equation. Balanced chemical equation. For example, you are given this equation H2 plus O2 and it makes 2H2O. It is a balanced equation. What is meant by this equation? In this equation, 2H2 mean either you can say 2 mole hydrogen react with 1 mole oxygen and they are making 2 mole water. So the coefficient which is given in the equation, that coefficient, that number is representing the number of moles. Okay, got it? So can you calculate moles of H2O produced from 0.3 mole hydrogen? So how you will use this concept? How will use the balanced equation? Now look at the balanced equation. What is the mole ratio? You are asked to calculate this from this. So write the ratio of hydrogen and water in equation. In equation there are 2 mole hydrogen and 2 mole H2O, right? And you are given to calculate from 0.3 mole of hydrogen. So what will be number of moles formed from 0.3? So as you do in your ratio method, 2x is equals to 2 times 0.3. So x is equal to 2 into 0.3 over 2. X is equal to 0.3 mole. Got it? You got this? How you will calculate moles from a given equation. Similarly, if you are given like this, H2 plus O2, it makes 2H2O. It is compulsory you have the balanced chemical equation. And calculate number one. Now we will extend this topic. Calculate moles of H2O formed from 0.250 moles of O2. Now you are asked to calculate water from oxygen, right? You are given two things. So write down the ratio. Oxygen ratio H2O. Oxygen is how much? Oxygen is 1 here, right? So 1 mole oxygen produces 2 mole H2O, and if you have 0.25 mole oxygen, so how much H2O you will get? So x is equals to 2 times 0.25, that's equal to 0.500 mole H2O. In the second part, suppose you are asked to calculate mass of H2O. How many grams of H2O are made? So then what you will do? So for making grams, what is the formula? Mole is equals to mass over mr. So how many moles you calculated? 0.5 moles. So mass is to calculate what is mr of H2O. H2O 2 plus 16 is equal to 18. So 18, 0.5 into 18 is equals to m, that is 9 gram. Okay, so you are given information regarding oxygen, that from this much oxygen how much water is formed. So first you will calculate moles from the balanced equation. Once you got mole, you can calculate its volume, its mass, whatever it is asked. Okay, is it clear? Now if examiner says k calculate number of molecules formed. So we know that one mole H2O means 6.02 into 10 power 23 molecules. And how many molecules we are getting? 0.5. So 0.5 mole ratio what? So multiply them. So X is equals to 6.02 into 10 power 23 into 0.5. So it will be 3.01 into 10 power 23 molecules of H2O. So you started with one information, that was this much oxygen. So we calculated moles of H2O. Then we calculated the mass of H2O, multiplying moles with mr. And third, if examiner says कि calculate number of molecules, so multiply number of moles with the Avogadro's number. Clear? Now, what is for this calculation, you must have the concept of limiting reactant, right? What is limiting reactant? Reactant which finishes first, mean which is in lesser quantity. Because when your limiting reactant, when the one which is in lesser quantity, when it will finish, your reaction will stop. So you will no more get the product. So your product actually depends upon the limiting reactant. Okay. Now, how you can calculate limiting reactant? For example, you are given a question, Mg plus HCl, and it makes MgCl2 plus hydrogen, right? Examiner says okay, you have a beaker, and in this beaker you have 100 cm cube of 0.5 mole per dm cube HCl, and in this beaker you add 5 gram Mg. Okay. So the reaction will be Mg will react with HCl and will form MgCl2 hydrogen. Balance this equation. So you are given both the things. You are given information regarding your Mg and also for your HCl. So your product, for example, MgCl2 or hydrogen, will depend on which reactant, magnesium or HCl. We have to calculate the one which is in lesser quantity, the one which has less moles, that is the limiting reactant. So calculate both these. So mass over mr, mass over ar rather, because atomic mass, magnesium is an atom. So 5 divided by magnesium has atomic mass 24. So 5 divided by 24 is equal to 0.5 208 mole. And what are the moles of HCl? So HCl mole is equal to C time V. C is 100. C is 0.5. What is the volume? Volume is 100. But convert this into dm cube. It is 0.1. So zero point 0.5 into 0.5 is equal to 0.05 mole. Now, can you see which reactant is lesser in quantity? Which is the limiting reactant? Which one? The which reactant will be the limiting reactant? Magnesium is 0.2. HCl is 0.05. So HCl is very less. So it is limiting, and it magnesium is in excess. So our product will depend on HCl. So just forget about this. We will not use this in our calculation. We will calculate from HCl. Now exam says okay, calculate moles of MgCl2 formed. Now look at your equation. In your equation, HCl and MgCl2, HCl ratio MgCl2. How much is HCl in the equation? 2 mole HCl makes 1 mole MgCl2. But actually, how much we have? We have 0.05 mole HCl. So 0.05 mole HCl will form how much MgCl2? So calculated with the ratio method, cross multiply this. So you will get 2x is equal to 0.05 and x is equal to 0.05 divided by 2. So 0.05 divided by 2 is equal to 0.025. So MgCl2 is equal to 0.025 mole. Okay. Look at this question. Equation for the reaction is shown: calcium hydroxide HCl, and this is reaction 20 cm cube of this HCl react with 25 cm cube of this. Determine the concentration of calcium hydroxide in gram per dm cube. Use the following steps. Number one, calculate the number of moles of 20 cm cube of this HCl. Easy, you are given everything. Which formula you will apply? Mole is equal to C time V. So what is C? C is 0.05. And how much is volume? 20. 20 divided by 1000 is equal to 0.02 dm cube. Right? So what are the number of moles? 0.05 multiplied by 0.02 is equals to 0.001. 0.001 mole HCl, right? Now determine mean look at the equation. No need to show your calculation. Determine the number of moles of calcium hydroxide in 25 cm cube of lime water. How many mole? Look at the equation. Equation. Calcium hydroxide is 1 and 2 HCl. And if you have 0.001 HCl, 0.001 HCl, so how much calcium hydroxide you will need? The 1:2. This means this half. So calculated 2x is equal to 0.001. So 0.001 divided by 2 is equals to 0.001 divided by 2 is equals to 0.0005. And now concentration, this is mole. Calculate concentration. So for concentration is mole is equal to C time V. How many moles you have calculated? 0.0005. C is to be calculated, and volume is mentioned in your statement, that is 25 cm cube. So 25 over 1000 because you need in dm cube. So what will be C? 0.0005 divided by 0.025. 0.025 is equals to 0.02 mole per dm cube. This is concentration in mole per dm cube. But examiner says calculate this in gram per dm cube. How you can convert mole into grams? Mole into gram. Mole is equals to mass over mr. So multiply mole with mr. You have mole 0.2 multiply. What is mr of calcium hydroxide? Calcium hydroxide is mr. Calcium 40 plus 2 oxygen 32 plus 2 this. So this will be 72, 74 multiplied by 74. You will get mass multiplied by 74 is equal to 1.48 gram. So you actually, what is meant by 0.2 mole per dm cube? Means if you have 1 dm cube of solution, you have 0.02 mole in this. Now just convert this into gram. Dm are the same, solution is same. So how you can express other way? It is 1.48 gram per dm cube, right? One more question. Dilute sulfuric acid react with sodium hydroxide. Student add 0.76 gram of sodium hydroxide, 45 cm cube of this sulfuric acid. So simply calculate moles of both sodium hydroxide and H2SO4. So sodium hydroxide, for sodium hydroxide, this is given 0.76 mass over mr. This is mass. So mass, so what is mr of sodium hydroxide? 23 plus oxygen 16 plus 1 is equal to 40. So 0.76 divided by 40 is equals to 0.019 mole of sodium hydroxide are given. And how much sulfuric acid is given? Sulfuric acid is equal to, mole is equal to C times V. C is 0.2 and volume is 45 over 1000. So 45 divided by 1000 makes 0.05 multiplied by 0.2 is equals to 0.009 mole. Now which is limiting? Sulfuric acid, now look at the equation. H2SO4 ratio NaOH. Sulfuric acid, if it is 1 mole in equation, you need 2 mole NaOH. But if sulfuric acid you have 0.009, so how much sodium hydroxide you will need? A double of this, है ना? So multiplied by 2. 0.018. What is this? Sodium hydroxide. Sorry, H2SO4. H2SO4, these moles are required. But actually what you have 0.09, means sulfuric acid is less than our requirement. It is less than what we need for complete reaction. You got this? So H2SO4 is limiting, and this limiting means sodium hydroxide in excess. Okay, so you got this step. First you will calculate moles of both, then from the balanced equation you will compare which one is in lesser quantity, which one is in don't just simply look at these answers. After this, look at equation, and from equation find which is in the limiting, which is in excess. So then give your final answer. Look at this question. A sample of 2.34 gram of zinc is reacted with 50 cm cube of 2 mole per dm cube. Equation is given. So what you will do, you will calculate moles of both. Examiner says show by calculation that hydrochloric acid is in excess and zinc is the limiting reactant. Okay, HCl is in excess. Show this. So first of all, calculate moles of zinc. Zinc excess mean more than the required quantity. Limiting mean the smaller quantity one. Okay. Yes. So zinc, moles of zinc. What is given for zinc? Mass is given. So how many moles are there for zinc? Mass over here, atomic mass of zinc. So 2.34 divided by what is the mass of zinc? That is 65. Okay. So for HCl, you are given volume and you are given concentration. For HCl, you will use another formula. C mole is equal to C times V. So mole is equal to what is C? C is 2 multiplied by 50 over 1000. So what is this? So calculate how many moles of zinc are there. 2.34 divided by 65 is equal to 0.036, right? Or what are the moles of HCl? For HCl, multiply 2 with 0.05. 0.05 is equals to 0.1 mole. So which is limiting and which is in excess? 50 divided by 1000 is equals to, okay. Okay. Um 2.34 divided by 65. This 2.65 divided by 65 is equals to, no, this is wrong. I think 2.34 divided by 65 is equal to 0.036. 2.34 divided by 65 is equal to 0.036. Okay. Now, which is do you know the ratio here? Zinc ratio HCl. In a balance equation, 1 mole zinc needs 2 mole HCl. But how much we have? We have 0.036. For this much, how much you will need? HCl is equals to 0.072 mole, right? HCl needed, yes, is 0.072 mole, but we are given 0.1 mole, that is in excess, that is more than our required quantity. Okay, so in this calculation it proves that HCl is in excess, right?